I never thought I'd be the one to cut ties with my own kin, but out here in the dusty heart of Arizona's high desert, where the sun beats down like a relentless judge, life has a way of forcing your hand. My name's Riley Thompson, and for 6 long years, I'd been the invisible backbone holding my family together. Growing up on our modest ranch outside Tucson, where the saguaros stand tall like silent witnesses and the summer heat waves distort everything into a mirage, I learned early that family came first, no questions asked. But somewhere along the line, that loyalty turned into a chain around my neck, dragging me down while everyone else climbed higher on my back. It all started back when I was 17, fresh out of high school and full of that wide-eyed optimism kids have before the world kicks them in the teeth. My folks, Jack and Linda Thompson, ran the ranch, nothing fancy, just a few acres for cattle and some side gigs in construction for Dad. Money was always tight, like a noose that tightened with every bad season or vet bill. Mom worked part-time at the local feed store, but her health wasn't great, what with the arthritis flaring up in the dry air. That summer, they sat me down under the old mesquite tree in the yard, the kind of talk where you know the verdict's already in before the trial starts. "Riley, honey," Mom began, her voice soft but firm, like she was breaking bad news about a sick calf. "We've been crunching the numbers, and college just ain't in the cards for us right now. The mortgage on this place is eating us alive. And with your dad's back acting up, work's spotty." Dad nodded, staring at his calloused hands like they held the answers. "We hate to say it, kid, but you've got to think practical. Get a trade. Something that pays quick." I swallowed hard, feeling that dream of heading off to some big university in Phoenix or beyond slip away like sand through my fingers. Not that I had Ivy League ambitions, I just wanted a shot at something more than mending fences and hauling hay. But out west, you don't whine, you saddle up and ride. So instead of dorm rooms and frat parties, I enrolled in a 1-year vocational program at the community college in Tucson, learning the ins and outs of ranch management and basic mechanics. It was hands-on, gritty work, surrounded by folks who'd seen more sunrises than I had birthdays. Right after I finished, I landed a job at Desert Ridge Outfitters, a big ranch supply store and repair shop on the outskirts of town. Started as a stock clerk, hauling feed bags and fixing tractors till my muscles screamed. The pay was peanuts, barely enough for gas in my beat-up Ford pickup, but I figured it was a stepping stone. 2 years in, they bumped me up to assistant manager, overseeing inventory and handling customer orders. For the first time, I felt like I was building something solid, earning respect in a world where a firm handshake still meant more than a fancy degree. Then came the bombshell. My little sister, Valerie, Val for short, graduated high school with flying colors. She was the smart one, always buried in books while I was out in the barn. That sticky August evening, with the monsoon rains threatening on the horizon, the family gathered around the kitchen table, the air thick with the smell of Mom's chili. Val was buzzing about her acceptance to Arizona State University, her eyes sparkling like stars over the Grand Canyon. "We need to talk finances," Dad said, his voice gravelly from years of dust and cigarettes. Mom chimed in, beaming at Val. "Your sister's got real potential, Riley. She's aiming for business school, maybe even law someday. But tuition's a killer. And with the ranch loan payments." The implication hung there like a storm cloud, unlike you, who's already got a steady gig. I felt my gut twist. "You want me to chip in?" Dad pulled out a notepad scribbled with figures. "About $1,200 a month for Val's tuition and dorm, plus $600 toward the mortgage. That'd keep us afloat." It hit me like a bucking bronco. My take-home was $3,000 after taxes. That'd leave me with $1,200 for myself. That's doable, Mom said brightly. You're living here rent-free. And gas ain't that bad if you carpool. Val sat there, folding her acceptance letter carefully. Not protesting, just accepting it as her due. I loved her, hell. I'd taught her to ride horses and chase fireflies, but in that moment, I saw the divide. She was the future. I was the foundation. All right, I muttered. For the family, their relieved smiles should have warmed me, but it felt like I'd just signed over my freedom. From then on, my days blurred into a grind that would make a mule quit. Up at dawn to feed the animals before heading to work. Then back late. Bones aching from lifting crates and wrangling equipment. Double shifts became routine, mornings stocking shelves. Afternoons fixing machinery for ranchers from miles around. The Arizona sun baked everything, turning the parking lot into a furnace. But I pushed through, wired on black coffee and sheer will. Every month, I'd wire the money, $1,200 to Val's school account, $600 to the bank for the mortgage. My $1,200 went quick, truck maintenance, work boots, the odd burger when I was too beat to cook. I stopped hanging out at the local honky-donk with buddies, no time for rodeos or weekend hikes in the mountains. My world shrank to the store, the ranch, and my cramped bedroom with its peeling wallpaper and creaky bed. Val would visit during breaks, regaling us with tales of campus life, parties by Tempe Town Lake, internships in Phoenix high-rises. Mom and Dad hung on every word, their pride swelling like a monsoon flood. For me, how's the job? Riley.
Phoenix.
Mortgage cleared okay? Yep. No probes into my dreams. No acknowledgement of the toll. I was the reliable one. The rock they leaned on without a second thought. 2 years in, the exhaustion wasn't just physical. It seeped into my soul, like the desert wind eroding stone. I'd stare at the starry sky from the porch, wondering if this was it, endless sacrifice for a family that saw me as a means to an end. But blood's thicker than water.
Right?
Out here, you don't abandon your own. Or so I thought. As the years ticked by, my life settled into a rhythm that felt more like a rut carved deep by relentless tires on a dirt road. The Arizona heat didn't let up, and neither did the demands. I'd wake before the roosters, the first light painting the saguaros in gold, and head to Desert Ridge for the opening shift. Stocking heavy bales of hay, repairing irrigation systems for local farmers, dealing with cranky customers who haggled like it was a swap meet. Lunch was a quick sandwich in the break room, then back at it till closing, often staying late for inventory or emergency fixes. Home by dusk, I'd help Dad with ranch chores, mending fences under the setting sun, checking on the cattle as coyotes howled in the distance. Mom would have dinner ready, simple fare like beans and cornbread, and we'd eat in silence broken only by Val's latest updates via text or call. She was thriving at ASU, joining sororities, landing summer gigs at fancy firms in Scottsdale. She's going places, Mom would say, eyes misty.
Idenot.
Forcing a smile, while inside I felt hollow, like a dried-up arroyo. The financial strain gnawed at me constant. My paycheck vanished into their accounts, leaving me scraping by. Once, my truck's transmission blew, $800 fix that wiped out my savings. I skipped meals to make ends meet, telling myself it was temporary. Val would graduate soon, get a job, and things would ease. But deep down, I knew better. Expectations had a way of sticking like burrs on your jeans. Friends at work noticed. My buddy Jake, a mechanic with a handlebar mustache and a heart of gold, pulled me aside one scorching afternoon. Riley, you're running on empty. Partner. When's the last time you took a day for yourself? I shrugged. Family first.
Jake.
You know how it is. He shook his head. Family's supposed to lift you up, not ride you into the ground. Out here, even horses get a break. I brushed it off, but his words lingered like smoke from a campfire. Val's visits home amplified the divide. She'd breeze in with designer bags from Phoenix malls, chattering about study abroad in Europe or networking events.
Idealisten.
Envy bubbling like a hot spring, while mending her old riding boots or cooking extra for her friends. Mom and Dad doted on her, planning her future like it was a cattle drive, while my input was limited to pass the salt. The turning point crept up like a stealthy mountain lion. It was a blistering Tuesday in late spring, the kind where the air shimmers and mirages dance on the highway. I'd pulled a marathon shift, 14 hours straight after a big delivery truck breakdown. My back screamed. Feet throbbed like they'd been stomped by steers. And all I craved was collapsing into bed with the AC blasting. Pulling up to the ranch, dust kicking up under my tires, I heard laughter spilling from the lit kitchen window. Inside,
Mom. Dad.
and Val huddled around the table, papers strewn about like confetti. Their faces glowed under the fluorescent light, excited as kids at a county fair. Riley, just in time.
Val be med.
Her college tan skin flawless. We're planning my 21st bash. I leaned against the doorframe, too weary to sit. Sounds fun. What's the plan? Mom jumped in, eyes sparkling. Big shindig here at the ranch, 25 guests. College pals driving in from all over. We'll string lights in the barn, fire up the grill. You can handle the grub, right? Make it spotless beforehand, too. The words landed like a gut punch. Cook for 25? Clean the whole spread? That's my only day off this month, I muttered, voice cracking from fatigue. Val's smile faded to a pout. Come on.
Sis.
It's my big 2-1. Everyone's making the trek out here. Least you can do is whip up some barbecue. Dad nodded firmly. Family pulls together. Riley. Val deserves a proper send-off into adulthood. I stared, the room spinning slightly. After years of funneling cash their way, skipping my own life to prop theirs up, they wanted me to slave on my rare breather? I can't, I said flatly. I'm beat. Maybe rent out the VFW hall in town. They cater cheap. The air turned electric. Val's eyes welled up. That practiced hurt I'd seen since she was a tot. Selfish much? This is once in a lifetime. Either you're with me or against me. Mom's face hardened. Don't be dramatic. We've all sacrificed. Your job's steady. Make it work. Sacrificed? The word ignited something fierce.
I de sacrificar, drams de ferrat.
Body broken. Wallet emptied.
They'd
reaped the rewards.
I repat.
Stronger. Find another way. Dad slammed his hand on the table. You'll do it. Young lady. End of story. I turned and stormed to my room, the old wooden floors creaking under my boots. Slamming the door, I sank onto the bed, heart pounding like thunder over the mountains. Their whispers filtered through the walls, frustrated, plotting how to reel me back. But for the first time, I questioned everything. Was this love or just convenient exploitation? I grabbed my phone and dialed Jake. He answered groggily. Riley, it's midnight. You okay? I spilled it all, the party demands, the years of giving, the breaking point. He listened, then sighed. Enough's enough. Crash at my place. I've got a spare room in my trailer outside town. We'll figure rent later. You serious? My voice trembled. Dead serious. Your family to me too. And real family doesn't bleed you dry. We hashed details. His place was modest, but safe, with views of the starry desert sky. Tomorrow, he said. I'll help haul your stuff. Hanging up, I packed quietly into 3 duffel bags, clothes, a few mementos, my grandpa's old pocket knife. Everything I owned fit neatly, a sad testament to my sparse life. Mom knocked once. Riley, let's talk sense. Tomorrow, I lied, smiling bitterly in the dark. Sleep evaded me, doubts swirling like dust devils. Was I the villain here, abandoning kin in the Wild West, where loyalty's currency? But as dawn crept in, painting the room pink, resolve hardened. I'd given enough. Time to claim my piece of the frontier. Dawn broke clear and crisp, the kind of Arizona morning that promises redemption or reckoning. I rose quietly, the house still wrapped in sleep's embrace. One by one, I lugged my bags to the truck, the gravel crunching softly underfoot like whispered secrets. Leaving my key on the kitchen counter felt final, like signing a divorce from my bloodline. I drove off without a backward glance, the rising sun turning the rearview mirror into a blaze. Jake was waiting at his trailer park, coffee steaming in mismatched mugs. Welcome to freedom, cowgirl, he grinned, helping unload. His place was simple, a double-wide with creaky steps and a porch swing overlooking scrubland dotted with yucca. My new room had a window framing the distant mountains, a far cry from my cluttered childhood nook. We spent the morning settling in, blasting country tunes while arranging my sparse belongings. For lunch, we grilled burgers, laughing like old partners in crime. It was the first real joy I'd felt in ages, untethered from obligations. By afternoon, my phone erupted. Mom,
Dad.
calls stacking like storm clouds. I let them ring to voicemail, heart pounding but steady. Jake nodded approvingly.
Latch in still.
They've had you on the hook too long. The messages evolved. Confusion first. Riley, where'd you go? Your room's empty. Then demands, get back here. We gotta plan Val's party. Finally panic. What's wrong? Call us. Not one asked if I was safe. Just how my absence derailed their plans. It stung, but confirmed what I'd suspected. I was a cog, not kin. Wednesday rolled in, and I headed to Desert Ridge, the familiar scent of leather and feed grounding me. Mid-shift, stocking shelves with barbed wire rolls. The boss, Mr. Harlan, approached, brow furrowed. Your folks are here, Riley. Wanting a word, my stomach nodded. But I nodded. Use the office? He agreed. And there they were in the break room, looking haggard as drought-stricken land. We filed into the cramped space, door clicking shut like a jail cell. Mom exploded first. What in tarnation? Riley, Val's party's days away. And you pulled a stunt. I moved out, I said calmly, crossing my arms. Dad blinked. Moved out?
To where?
Why? To a friend's. Because I'm done being your bank and butler. The air thickened.
Val.
Who tagged along, teared up. How could you? My friends are coming. You gonna ruin my birthday? Ruin? The audacity fueled me. I've bankrolled you for years, over $60,000 wired away. Tuition, mortgage, all while scraping by. And you call me selfish for not slaving on my day off. Mom clutched her chest. We needed that help. Families sticks together. Sticks together? I shot back. You've stuck it to me. No more transfers.
Val.
Get a job like half the students out there. Loans. Scholarships, it's legal. Fair. Dad's face reddened. You can't cut us off cold turkey. We depend on you. Dependence ain't entitlement, I countered, channeling Jake's wisdom. Out here, folks pull their weight. I've pulled for all of us too long.
Val sob bed.
You don't love me anymore. It twisted my gut. But I stood firm. Love ain't endless giving. It's mutual respect, mister. Harlan knocked, entering with a stern gaze. Everything all right?
They're leaving, I said.
Mom protested, but he waved in a burly stock boy. Escort him out.
No disruptions.
As they shuffled away, mister. Harlan patted my shoulder. Tough call.
Kid.
But boundaries are like fences. Keep the herd in check. Back home, Jake's trailer felt like home now. I canceled the auto payments at the bank. A weight lifting like monsoon rains breaking drought. Called ASU's bursar. Clarifying I was off the hook legally. No contract bound me. Just misplaced guilt. For the first time, my paycheck was mine. A fortune in freedom. The next days brought barrage. Texts pleading.
Bargaining, sheep cooking.
Just attend. More guilt. Val's crushed. House feels empty without you. Jake reviewed them.
Still all about them.
No sorry for the drain. He was right. Their outreach centered on loss to themselves. Not my pain. Val's party came and went. I heard through cousins it was scaled back. Potluck style in the barn.
No catastrophe.
Just adjustment. Meanwhile, I savored small victories. Buying new boots without scrimping. Hiking Saguaro National Park on a whim. Breathing easy under vast skies. But seeds of doubt sprouted. Was I too harsh? In Western lore, family's sacred. Think wagon trains circling against threats. Yet modern law backed me. No adult child owes parents financially unless court-ordered. And siblings? Pure choice. Still, nights brought reflection. Staring at stars. Pondering reconciliation on my terms. The weeks following my exodus unfolded like a slow Western showdown. Tension building under the relentless Arizona sun. My family didn't relent easily. They circled like vultures over a fresh kill, alternating between pleas and barbs. Texts flooded in, Mom's weepy ones about the empty dinner table. Dad's gruff demands to come to your senses, Val's dramatic accusations of betrayal. I responded sparingly, reiterating boundaries. I need space. Handle your finances. At work, things shifted positively. Mr. Harlan, sensing my turmoil, offered extra shifts but with flexibility, no more doubles unless I chose. You've got grit. Riley, he said one dusty afternoon, handing me a cold soda. Promoting you to full manager soon. Raise included. It felt like striking water in the desert, validation I'd earned through sweat, not sacrifice. Jake became my anchor. Our trailer life a simple haven. Evenings on the porch, beers in hand, we'd swap stories under the Milky Way. You're blossoming, partner, he'd say. Like a desert bloom after rain. I started exploring, joined a local hiking group, tinkered with mechanics in his garage, even saved for a weekend in Sedona's Red Rocks. Money stretched further without the drain, allowing breaths of freedom I'd forgotten existed. But family ties tugged. A month in, Aunt Clara, Mom's sister from Phoenix, called. They're struggling. Riley. Mortgage late. Val working at a diner. Hating it. They miss you. I sighed. They took me for granted. True, she admitted. But blood's blood. Maybe talk. It planted a seed. Not regret, but a nudge toward humanity. Out west, feuds end with handshakes. not eternal grudges. Val ambushed me first, showing up at Desert Ridge during lunch rush. She looked different, less polished, apron stains from her job. Riley, please. Customers milled about. I led her outside. Heat waves rising from the asphalt. What do you want? Tears streamed.
I'm sorry.
I didn't realize how much you gave. Working sucks. Tips barely cover gas. I softened slightly. Welcome to reality. Most folks juggle jobs and school. She nodded. Mom and Dad are proud but stubborn. They say you abandoned us. Abandoned? I laughed bitterly. I supported you legally free and clear. No court made me. But emotionally? Yeah. It hurt. We talked haltingly, her admitting entitlement, me sharing exhaustion.
No hugs.
But a crack in the wall. Dad called next. Voice rough. Need to fix this. We met at a neutral spot, a roadside diner off I-10. Booth sticky with syrup. Mom joined, eyes puffy. We messed up, Dad grunted. Thought family meant sharing burdens, Mom added. But we piled too much on you. Val's applying for loans now. I laid it out. I love you. But boundaries stay. No more money. Help yourselves. They nodded, defeated but understanding. Fair enough, Dad said. Proud of you.
Kid.
Always were. It wasn't Hollywood reconciliation. But real. Awkward.
Tentative.
Val transferred to community college, working part-time, building character. Parents refinanced the mortgage. Mom taking more hours. Dad picking up odd jobs. Whispers from relatives varied. Some called me heartless. Others applauded. You taught him self-reliance, Cousin Luke said at a family barbecue I cautiously attended. My life flourished. Promotion came with a $500 bump, letting me cut hours, pursue certifications in ranch tech. Jake and I grew closer, our friendship deepening into something warmer, like embers kindling. A trip to the Grand Canyon sealed it, standing on the rim. Wind whipping, I felt reborn. Yet, the drama lingered in quiet moments. I drive past the old ranch, heart aching for what was. But growth demands pain, like breaking a wild horse. 6 months on, the dust had settled, leaving a clearer trail ahead. The Arizona landscape, with its vast skies and resilient flora, mirrored my journey from parched survival to tentative bloom. My family and I navigated a new normal, fragile as a desert flower but rooted in mutual respect. No more financial crutches, they stood taller for it. And I walked freer. Val thrived in her adjusted path, waitressing building empathy she'd lacked. Cease. You were right, she confessed over coffee in Tucson one crisp fall day. Spoiled me rotten. Now I'm paying my way feels good, we laughed. Mending fences like old ranch hands. Mom and Dad adapted too, refinance loan easing the squeeze. Both working steadier. Family dinners resumed sporadically. Conversations shifting from needs to dreams. What's next for you? Riley, Dad asked once. Genuine interest warming like afternoon sun. At Desert Ridge, I excelled as manager, training staff and expanding inventory to include eco-friendly gear for sustainable ranching. Mr. Harlan mentored me, hinting at ownership stake someday. You've got the fire, he said. Jake and I formalized our bond, his trailer becoming our shared oasis. We planned adventures, camping in the superstitions, stargazing where Apache legends whispered. The lesson crystallized gently, family's a shared trail, not one person's burden. In America's West, where pioneers forged paths through hardship, Self-reliance tempers love. I hadn't sought revenge, just equity. By stepping away, I forced growth for them. For me.
No villains.
Just humans learning boundaries breed stronger ties. Looking back, that Tuesday night wasn't betrayal's end, but redemption's start. We all emerged wiser. Bonds reforged in fire. Out here, under endless horizons, life's about balance, giving without losing yourself. And in that, we found our way home.